Buriram very much the super club in Thailand at the moment. They've won 4 consecutive Thai championships, making a total of 11 all up, 7 cups and 8 league cups as well. As for Melbourne City, well, of course, they won the Australian Championship for just the 2nd time last May, defeating City rivals by a 0-0 Melbourne victory at this very venue in front of a packed house. It's not quite that today. Pretty early kickoff in Australia, so many people still making their way back from work. Melbourne City really needing to get their campaign back on track. They were pretty unfortunate not to get at least a point from their last game, that trip to Japan, where they only succumbed to an injury time goal against Vissel Kobe. But goals have been a problem in the early parts of the campaign, not just in Asia, but they also went out of the Australia Cup competition, losing by 2-0 to Apia Leichhardt. They finally got off the mark with a goal from Max Caputo in a 1-1 draw against Western Sydney Wanderers on the opening weekend of the A-League season at the weekend. Here come the flag bearers and the teams. This one of 4 matches in the Eastern Zone today. The other seeing Ulsan take on Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Chengdu Rongcheng are at home to Johor of Malaysia, and Shanghai Port welcome Machida Zelvia of the J-League. But first it's Melbourne City of Australia's A-League up against the Thai champions, Buriram United. So the AFC Champions League Elite Anthem, which is played before every game. There's the signal for the pre-game handshake, or fist bump as it tends to be these days. And we can check on the 2 team lineups. Melbourne City adding a first Champions League Elite start to 17-year-old Beckham Baker, who's come through their club academy system, but have also trained with some big European clubs. Harrison Chillington also starts at right back after making his A-League debut off the bench at the weekend. Matt Leckie is missing out with a knee injury. Still no Andrew Naboot, Alessandro Lapane, Mehdi Mehmeti or Lawrence Wong. Takeshi Kanamori, the only off-season signing to make the starting 11. Another Kosovan international, Elbasan Rashani, is on the bench. Two skippers, 2 Australians, Kenny Dougal and Aziz Bayic. And there's our referee, who is Yoshimi Yamashita of Japan. First female to take charge of a Champions League Elite game, which she did 3 years ago as Melbourne City defeated Zona Dragons in Bangkok. As some familiar faces in the Buriram 11, Australians Kenny Dougal and former City captain Curtis Good returned to the country of their birth. Thai internationals Panta Hemviboon and Supachai are the only local-born players in the starting 11, which also features brothers Robert and Peter Jules. Peter, the younger of the two by a year, has 11 full caps for Australia. Guillaume Bissoli won the Thai Golden Boot last year with 25 goals. And Ghanaian international Kingsley Schindler makes his debut for the club. There's Kenny Dougal wearing the captain's armband, 5 caps for Australia. He started life in professional football with Brisbane Roar before heading overseas, first to the Netherlands and then to England, where he once scored a couple of goals in a playoff final win for Blackpool in the lower reaches of the English leagues. Well, there is Mark Jackson, a familiar face to A-League fans in Australia. He left Central Coast Mariners just a fortnight ago before being appointed as coach of Buriram. He won the treble with the Mariners in 23-24, including the last iteration of the AFC Cup. Aziz Bayic, who you just saw there, has been voted the PFA, the Players Union in Australia, Player of the Year for 24-25. So it's Buriram who kick us off, kicking from left to right on your screens in the first half. And Melbourne City, who've so far registered 0 shots on target in their 2 AFC Champions League elite matches so far, go in search of drastic improvement tonight against the Buriram side led by a man who knows their opponents better than most. Could be an intriguing 90 minutes ahead. Launched upfield by Samuel Supriyan, and here's Curtis Good to tidy up. This is very familiar ground for him. 180 matches in Melbourne City blue. Their record appearance holder, but in opposition this evening. Buriram's record on the road in the Thai League this season is perfect. 4 trips, 4 wins, 11 goals scored, just 5 conceded. They came back empty-handed from their trip to the Korean Republic last time out, losing by 3-0 to FC Seoul. After that opening day win against FC Johor of Malaysia. Harrison Shillington making his first Champions League elite starts with the throw. Supriyan into midfield for Kai Truan, who played most of last season as central defender. Equally comfortable though in midfield. And he, amongst probably 1 or 2 others, also being watched by the Australian national coach tonight, Tony Popovic. Australia having qualified for a 6th consecutive World Cup. Sent down the line by Truid, looking for Kanamori, but strong challenge by Kenny Dougal. In fact, it was Beckham Baker scampering forward. That was Kanamori with the touch. And the ball shepherded behind by Filip Stojkovic. There is Aurelio Vidmar, who coached in Thailand, of course, at Bangkok Glass, BG Pathum United and Bangkok United. And in fact, his last win in this competition came with BG Pathum United against Viettel back in 2021. Many years prior to that, of course, he led Adelaide United to the final of this competition, which they lost over 2 legs to Gamba Osaka. As though Baker might have been fouled there, but advantage play by the Japanese referee. This is Andreas Kuhn. Seen out by Good. Kingsley Schindler couldn't stick hold of the ball. He might be able to now, though. Back to Neil Etheridge. Oh, and a bit of a miss kick. Could put Buriram in trouble here. Romani to thread it through. Good save by Etheridge to deny Max Caputo. First big chance of the game. And it was an error at the back that very nearly proved costly for Buriram. Credit to their goalkeeper for making himself big. And at the very least, Melbourne City have recorded their first shot on target of this Champions League campaign. Samuel Cyprian looking for some options. There wasn't an awful lot of movement ahead. This is German Ferreira. Into the channel looking for Caputo, just beaten by the bounce. He looks hungry though, doesn't he, Max Caputo? And here was his big chance. He was onside too. Good save by Etheridge. Schindler. Panzer Hemviboon to leave it for Kenny Dougal. He gives it straight to the other captain, as is Bajic. Cyprian. Truitt. Strongly wanted a challenge by Dougal. Bajic. He made himself a bit of a national hero, scoring a late winner against Japan, which propelled Australia to the World Cup. Stolen in midfield by Curtis Good, who's then galloped forward in the hope of joining in with a possible Buriram attack, but it's all rather slowed. This is Panzer Hemviboon. Schindler. And he's in position for the return. He is quick, but so too is Kai Truitt. Kingsley Schindler played for many years in Germany for the likes of Cologne and Hanover. Spent the last 2 years in Turkey with Samsunspor, making his debut for the club this evening. First game in charge for Mark Jackson. Said he felt it was the right time to move on from the A-League, take the next step in his coaching career. I have to say, very harsh on the previous incumbent, Osmar Loss, who was axed despite winning the quadruple last season. Stojkovic has got in a bit of a mess. Shillington's back pass, not the easiest to deal with for Truitt, but deal with it he has. a foul by Panzer Hemviboon on Kavian Romani. Panzer Hemviboon, 35 years of age now. Been to the last 2 Asian Cups with Thailand, with whom he's won 53 international caps. Turned back by Shillington. Supriya. Andreas Kuhn, the Austrian. Rolling past his man and trying to feed it through for Max Caputo. Had a pretty good debut season in City Blue last time out, Andreas Kuhn, although season slightly marred by injury. Referee's going to bring them back for a foul on Robert Zuul. Zuul, the elder of the two brothers in the Buriram lineup by 12 months. Registered a goal and an assist in that opening day win against Johor. He's got his team a free kick here. And Curtis Good, perhaps unaware of the arrival of Max Caputo on the blind side. Again, the Buriram defence grateful to their goalkeeper for his quick awareness off his line. Max Caputo's been away at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup with the young Socceroos. And was joint top scorer for City last season. Although registered just 6 goals. Goals pretty evenly spread last season in that title win for Melbourne City. Caputo very much the long-term successor to the prolific Jamie McLaren in that number 9 role. Awkward ball for Kuhn, and Schindler comes away with it. Dougal. Etheridge to go long. Appeals for handball against Ferreira. Not heeded. Australian clubs have struggled somewhat in this competition of late. Melbourne Victory, the last club to make it out of the group or league stage back in 2020. That's a good pass under pressure from Kuhn, drawing the foul from Panzer Hemviboon. One of 3 Austrians on the pitch today, with the 2 Zuul brothers. Mark Jackson happy with the press from Panzer. Maybe less so the foul. Given away by Melbourne City. This is Peter Zuul. To go long again, finding the head of Basoli. Robert Zuul, Panzer, Schindler. Now the whistle blows because there is a problem with Super Chai on that far side. It's as though he's got a knock to the head. He's had his problems with injuries over the last few weeks. Super Chai. There we go, just getting the ball to the side of the face off Harrison Chillington. Actually withdrew from the national team for the October window through injury. And they'll go through the usual concussion checks with Super Chai. Recently scored his 100th goal in the Thai League, with one against Uttam in August. Here's the back pass from Curtis Good that very nearly got Buriram into trouble. Neil Etheridge out to play sweeper keeper, and he was smart off his line here as well to deny Caputo. A good start to the game. A Buriram keeper, formerly with Birmingham City in England. Given away not once but twice by Kenny Dougal. And then by Etheridge, straight at Kuhn. Another scruffy passage of play from both sides. Good hassling by Kanamori, and then he too turns the ball over. Bajic. Romani. And Kuhn able to turn. The shot is blocked. City pressing. Harrison Chillington with the effort, which ricochets away for a Melbourne City corner. However, the flag has gone up somewhere. For what? I'm not quite sure, but possession with Buriram. Maybe an offside against Andreas Kuhn, but he certainly didn't look it. It's a clear foul. And Super Chai now back with us, and none the worse for wear. Had his arms all over Ferreira. Quarter of an hour played. Melbourne City on top. Not by much. They've created the best chance so far. Flat release from the keeper, Etheridge, straight at Bisoli. Chases on, but Super Chai always second favourite behind Kai Truid. Helped on by Caputo, and Beckham Baker will scamper after it, but Panza there first. Very strong challenge by Chillington. Too strong for the liking of the referee. And for Filip Stojkovic. Stojkovic more usually a right back, but operating on the left today. 15 times capped by Montenegro. Although he hasn't played for them since 2019 after refusing to play in a match against Kosovo. Make sure it's a positive pass is the message from Aurelio Vidmar. Kuhn. It's nudged off the ball illegally by Goran Čaušić. Cyprian put under pressure by his goalkeeper, and then the reverse was true. Sorted out by Bajic. Keown wanted the quick throw. Bajic pushes it into midfield for Kai Truin. Shillington. Baker. Cyprian. And again for Samuel Cyprian, who missed the finals in the A-League last season due to injury. It's a nice hold-up play by Caputo, not the pass to match though. Dougal lifting it out towards Stojkovic. And good under pressure, turns the ball over. Truin. Bajic looking for the young debutant, Beckham Baker. Like his namesake, playing wide right. Oh, the risky clearance by Etheridge. Romani. A little pirouette to take himself away from the opponent. Romani again. Good. City building methodically. Romani. Kanamori. Well, optimistic. He was an off-season arrival from Sagan Tosu. Actually won this competition in 2018 with the Kashima Antlers. Came off the bench in both legs of the final against Persepolis. City have not been overly active in the transfer market during the A-League off-season. Schindler fairly flattened by Bajic. Melbourne City, though, still waiting for their first goal in this year's competition. Here's Guillaume Basoli. He gets the verdict. Ferreira stepping across him. This was Argentina against Brazil, if you like. Ferreira, the Argentine, Basoli, the Brazilian. He's got a remarkable scoring record for Buriram. 70 goals in 90 matches in all competitions. Hasn't scored in any of his last 5 in this competition, though. Heavy touch by Baker. Here's Robert Sewell. And wide right is Kingsley Schindler. Given away by Peter Zuhl. Promising position that for Buriram, one that they didn't really make the most of. This year they finished 6th in the AFC Champions League Elite League stage, comfortably qualifying for the next phase. The run ended by the eventual winners, Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia, in the quarters. Basoli appeared to catch Andreas Kuhn there, but there's no free kick. That is good. Etheridge under pressures again. Not kicked particularly well. Shillington. Ferreira. Cyprian back to his goalkeeper. Helped on by Romani, but it should be Neil Etheridge's. One of those 62 caps for the Philippines. He's, or rather 82 caps. He's not been selected though since 2024. For the Azkals. Says he's not retired, even though he's 35 now. Well protected by Stojkovic and gets the free kick. Panzer. Chip over the top by Dougal. Kenny Dougal has played a fair chunk of his career in midfield. Operating at the back alongside his compatriot Curtis Good. Schindler getting the better of Bajic. Free kick for the foul by Cyprian. And his hands all over Robert Zul. There is Tony Popovic, coach of the Australian national team. Just out of picture is assistant Hayden Fox. Peter Jules. Chance here for Super Chai to make progress. Low ball in, searching for Robert Jules. Never really looked likely to reach its target. No pressure on Ferreira. Well, there is now, unfairly so. Truin is really having a stretch for that one. And there could be a counter on here for Buriram. Wide left is Thoran Chausic. Went for the little back heel. Didn't quite work out. Still might. In the end, well wide by Peter Jules. Peter Jackson, or Mark Jackson, I should say, enjoyed that. They sprung the trap in midfield. Chasic away down the left. And then it was all a little bit untidy, including the finish. But the coach liked it. Touch too far for Cyprian. Panzer. Schindler straight into the midriff of Kavian Romani. Just knocked the wind out of him for a moment or two. Kuhn. Caputo. Now there was definite obstruction on Romani. Advantage played. Shillington will keep the move going. Baker takes a tumble on the edge of the box. Not enough contact with Stojkovic for the referee to get involved. And suggestions of another high foot, this time from Superchai. Referee trying to keep the game flowing. They're beaten to it by Schindler. It was just a little bit of contact between Baker and Stojkovic. Perhaps not enough for VAR to get involved, although they are checking, of course. You do run the risk when you put your arms on the opponent. Junpei Iida leading the VAR team in the booth today. VAR check complete. Contact not sufficient to award a spot kick. Referee inadvertently getting involved. Play to restart with the drop. All the way back for Patrick Beach. His form was so impressive last season. Tony Popovic called him up to the national team squad as a train-on player. Very much seen as one for the future. Taking over from the veteran Jamie Young, now retired.
Come on, guys, come on, guys.
Kuhn. What about that for a ball? And Romani is onto it. Corner off Schindler. But the vision there from Andreas Kuhn was exquisite. Managed to stay on side as well, Kavian Romani. Kingsley Schindler doing his job. Baker with the corner. Cyprian and others about to make their move. It's Ferreira at the back post. Seen behind by Dougal. Another corner. Radio Vidmar and his assistant Scott Jamieson with the laptop. He was captain of City's A-League title-winning team when they first won it in 2021. Well, the message is clear. Keep your hands to yourself. Referee keeping a beady eye on proceedings. Bajić's delivery. Kanamori gets the better of Dougal. Has he run down a blind alley? He has. And then Cyprian commits the foul. And that little spell of Melbourne City pressure comes to a close. Long time ago now since an Australian club won the AFC Champions League. Western Sydney Wanderers in 2014. Funny, it's even longer since a Thai team, the last champions of Asia. The now defunct Thai Farmers Bank won back-to-back titles in the old Asian Club Championship, 1994 and 1995. Had just the one finalist in the modern era, Bektero Sasana, in the very first iteration of the AFC Champions League in 02-03, when they lost to Al Ain. Buriram very much seen as Thailand's best hope of a repeat. Cyprian a little winded here. Just a slight cut appearing on the forehead of Samuel Cyprian. All-female officiating team this evening in Melbourne. Cyprian continuing to have treatment on that head issue. 36 years of age now, Samuel Cyprian. Born in Réunion. He grew up in Lyon and played for the French under-21 team in the earlier part of his career. Foul by Superchai. Here's the signal for a rather sterner conversation between referee and player. As yet, no cards. Bajić for the free kick. Puto across the face, but he was well offside. Rather wasteful set piece for Melbourne City. Jackson, who's taken some of his backroom staff from the Mariners over to Buriram as well, including his assistant, Danny Schofield. Kanamori's back pass a little short. City lucky to get away with that. Off the head of Jasic. Turned back by Truid. Harrison Shillington. Ferreira. Shellington has overhit that one. So City's wait for Champions League goal goes on. They did lose two of their better attacking talents during the off-season. Marco Tilio returning to Europe. And Jonathan Cohen also departing. Little push by Kingsley Schindler on Aziz Behich. And those sorts of talents not easy to replace for Melbourne City, playing as they do in a salary cap competition. The fact that Andrew Nabout has been out for the best part of 12 months hasn't helped either. Five minutes to go in the first half. City have generally had the better of things without really creating too many opportunities. As Kingsley Schindler, Behich, so difficult to get goal side of. He's given the ball away though. Robert Zuul, Panzer, Dougal, wide for Robert Zuul. Panzer again. Robert Zuul to drill it across with spin. Good soft hands by Patrick Beach, who was then impeded in his attempts for the quick release. And Superchai just has to be a little bit careful. Already been spoken to by the referee. Might be treading a fine line. And guilty of wrestling. Stojkovic. Pedersen not able to find the return. And it's a silly challenge, and it does finally mean that the referee's patience has run out, and that is Peter Zul's third yellow card of this AFC Champions League Elite group stage, or league stage, which means that he will miss Buriram's next encounter in this competition against Shanghai Port. Trip by Baker. Stojkovic, who spent the last 3 years in Austria with Lask, the club from Linz. Offside flag has gone up, so free kick for Melbourne City. Buriram attempting to press, but Melbourne City threw that one quite comfortably, and that's a foul by Kenny Dougal, and that's going to attract a yellow card as well. Just stopping Melbourne City's attempts to get an attack going. Quite blatant it was too. A yellow card and his return to the country of his birth.
Yellow card for Buriram, number 16,
into the final minute of the opening 45. It's been a steady rather than spectacular first 45 minutes in charge of Buriram for Mark Jackson. Really done too much in an attacking sense, the Thai League champions. Not really too many causes for alarm at the other end either. Stojkovic. And Ferreira should be able to see this one behind. And we're into 2 minutes of injury time at the end of the first 45. Guillaume Basoli, 27 years of age. Began his career back in his native Brazil with Sao Paulo. Spell it Atlético Paranaense. Cruzeiro. Before rocking up in Thailand in January 2024. Lovely shot of the Melbourne rectangular stadium as day gives way into night. Wide by Romani, might have been offside. Play goes on for now. Shillington, Baker. Both attempts at a cross blocked, and now belatedly the flag does go up against Max Caputo. That's a foul by Supriyan, and a rather needless one at that. With his opponent moving away from goal rather than towards it. So perhaps a chance with what's bound to be the last attack of the first half for Buriram. Jules sends up the signal. Curtis Good has made his way to the back of that pack. I'm sure he'd love to score against his former club. All about the quality of the delivery. And it's not bad, and it's headed in. Goran Čausić puts Buriram in front, probably with the last attack of the first half. It was an expertly delivered free kick, and Čausić rose highest to meet it, and Buriram edge in front, much to the delight of their supporters. However, there may well be a case that Čausić has not timed his run well enough. I have a sneaking feeling that VAR will get involved here. It was a fine header, but those celebrations may yet be cut short. Junpei Aida running the rule over the pictures in VAR. And at first glance, it would appear that Čaušić went a fraction too early. But we will see. At the point of contact off the boot of Peter Jules, I think Čaušić has just strayed into an offside position. And there may yet be a reprieve for Melbourne City. Stadium waits with bated breath. Actually, the first chance they've really created, Buriram. Nothing wrong with the header. But did he go too soon? Yep, that's the verdict. Offside. And Melbourne City breathe a big sigh of relief. And that is half-time in Melbourne. Confirmed that Čaušić's goal, robbed off for offside. Not much in it, but enough. And Melbourne City escape. A first half that's not produced too much, in all honesty, in terms of goal-mouth opportunities. Up to that moment, Mark Jackson's team denied the lead. Max Caputo had the best, virtually the only chance for Melbourne City. It came after 4 minutes. Well blocked by Neil Etheridge. They need to do a bit better in the final third. At the break, after that VAR overruling of Goran Čaušić's goal, it's all square. Melbourne City 0, Buriram United 0. Well, the big talking point of the first half was the goal scored by Goran Časić, which was ultimately ruled out correctly after seeing the replays for offside. Buriram United haven't really offered too much of an attacking threat, nor have Melbourne City, in fairness. They are now approaching 4 hours without a goal at the start of this AFC Champions League elite campaign. Kenny Dougal has been booked on his return to Australia, as has Peter Jules. It's third of the league stage, which means he'll be suspended for their next match against Shanghai Ports. And the second half about to get underway. Doesn't look as though either coach has made any changes. I'll get that confirmed for you. Melbourne City do have attacking options on the bench, including Elbasan Rashani, their off-season acquisition. And Buriram have their options as well, as Melbourne City get the second half underway. Kicking from left to right on your screen in this second half, and looking for a little bit more attacking pep, I dare say, in this second 45. The onus really on them, being at home. Need to get their Champions League campaign up and running. It's the start of a spell of 2 home matches in the space of a few days for City. They've got Perth Glory in the A-League to come here at the weekend. Looking to end this 2-year run of A-League clubs without a victory in this competition. Shillington. One in the air by Kenny Dougal. Nice little angle ball in towards Goran Časić, and here is Basoli. And Patrick Beach grabs it at the second attempt. It didn't have a huge amount of power, in all honesty. It was enough to get the fans of Buriram, who are gathered on that far side of the ground, excited for a moment. That Buriram's first shot on target of the game. Melbourne City have had just the one themselves, which came via Max Caputo in the opening 5 minutes of the contest. Sent forward by Supriyan, but a heavy touch by Caputo. Dougal was able to steal in. All the way back to former City favourite Curtis Good. Won't stick for Superchai, nor Beckham Baker, but good feet by Kanamori. Baker's cross might find a teammate at the back post, and Romani was arriving and is claiming the corner. Dougal's challenge had to be spot on there. Did he have a case for the corner? Certainly looked that way. They are checking a possible penalty. VAR. And I think there was clean contact made with the ball by Dougal. And that is confirmed. Check complete. Ferreira having to adjust very quickly there. A bit of room here for Romani. This looks promising for Melbourne City. Seen out by Panzer Hembiboon for a corner. Making his first appearance in this year's AFC Champions League Elite, Panzer Hembiboon. Buriram since 2017. His touch has led to this corner, which Baker takes short. Kanamori, top of the box is Bajic. Oh, there was a whole cluster of Melbourne City players waiting to apply the finishing touch. Ferreira having to settle for the throw. Shillington. A little bit unfortunate that the rebound went off his foot. Flicked off the head of Basoli, but picked up by Cyprian, who drives forward into attack and is then robbed by Kingsley Schindler. Basoli. It's a lovely touch by Chausic. Truin. Caputo. Protected him well, drew the contacts from Robert Joule. Ferreira just too strong for Basoli. Ferreira. Double nipping in ahead of Caputo. Had a good battle, those two. Joule with the free kick. Good. It's a free kick. Robert Joule believing that Kuhn ran into him rather than the other way around. I'm not sure that's the case, in all honesty. Good strength by Good. And he was impeded. Stojkovic pointing out that Baker hasn't retreated the full 10 metres. Shifted wide by Chausic. Schindler. Schindler was then involved in an off-the-ball altercation, which has left him on the ground. And now Stojkovic heading into his opponent rather than the ball. And Melbourne City have got two players down. Kingsley Schindler also a little slow to get back to his feet. Just that little arm across and into the neck of the Ghanaian from Bajic. It's a clash of heads that has left Harrison Shillington needing some attention. Schindler and Bajic discussing things. He's saying, can you keep your arms down, please? Meantime, Shillington looks to be okay. Young defender who trained with some European clubs before returning to the Melbourne City Academy. Brentford and Millwall and Wycombe Wanderers among them. Signed his first professional contract last year. He's had to wait a while to make the breakthrough. Nathaniel Atkinson, of course, the first pick in his position. He's back in the fray now. Tidied up by Ferreira. Beach goes long off the head of Panzer Hembiboon. Chausic, Schindler. Dougal. Basoli driven backwards by the ever-present Germán Ferreira. And changes afoot for Melbourne City. Looks like we're going to see the introduction of Ben Mazzeo and perhaps Liam Bonnetig as well. Samuel Cyprian has just pulled up sore, so Bonnetig would be an obvious replacement for him. Problem with the hamstring, perhaps. Liam Bonnetig, 20 years of age. Had a couple of years at Celtic in Scotland without making the first team breakthrough. He's also got a brother, incidentally, Alex Bonnetig, who's a regular first team pick with Western Sydney Wanderers, who City played at the weekend. Samuel Cyprian invited to go off, but he's just going to take his time because Harrison Shillington is still struggling. So City just holding fire on those changes for the moment. Head knock, obviously still bothering the City defender. And if he's still feeling dizzy, I would wager that City don't really want to take a risk. So a lengthy delay gives the fans the chance to do their thing. Nathaniel Atkinson is being prepared. He's the logical replacement for Shillington. Cyprian's going to wander off. Bonnetig takes his place. All rather confusing on the sidelines. Quite sure what the hold-up is here. Maybe the electronic board is not working. Little sprint forward from Cyprian, perhaps just caused the hamstring to twinge a little.
Triple substitution for Melbourne City. Coming off number 38, Baker, who's been replaced by number 20, Ben Mazzeo.
So Ben Mazzeo, who will offer plenty of zip in attack, replaces Beckham Baker. Liam Bonnetig on for Samuel Cyprian, and Nathaniel Atkinson is the replacement for Harrison Shillington. Those are the three changes for Melbourne City. There's been plenty of endeavour from the home side, but there's not much quality in the final third. Bajic continuing his personal battle with Kingsley Schindler. Led off by Basoli. Jesus Good shifts it out wide left for Stojkovic. Good football this by Buriram. Here's Guillaume Basoli. And just got bumped off the ball by Kuhn. And the Thai fans on the far side yelling for a penalty. Andreas Kuhn with the contact on the Brazilian. Again, I'm not sure there was enough in that. They check everything, of course. Shoulder to shoulder. Even if Basoli will claim it's a bit higher up than that. Now we're going to see a yellow card for Superchai. And I think that's really for accumulation rather than the seriousness of that particular foul. Third booking of the evening for Buriram. We've had more bookings than shots on target so far. Foul by Ben Mazeo. One of many promising youngsters to come through the system at Melbourne City. Actually got a goal on his starting debut against the Newcastle Jets. But, suffered with injury last season, hasn't featured in the A-League since the end of February. Confirmation of that yellow ticket for Superchai. That's a really good touch under pressure. Kavian Romani, another one to come through the academy. Less than half an hour remaining. Niggly contest, 27 fouls. All the bookings, though, have gone the way of Buriram. Chanabori left it short, return ball for Atkinson, and then poor first touch from Superchai. It's a catalogue of errors from both teams at the moment. Dougal to spray it wide right for Schindler. That particular battle between Kingsley Schindler and Aziz Bayic has been one of the key narratives so far this evening. Aziz Bayic actually scored Melbourne City's last goal of this competition against Zhejiang of the People's Republic of China. So far again tonight, they have drawn a blank. Good stretch by Peter Zul. There's Superchai. Pushing forward is Stojkovic. Mazeo. Bayic. Touched by Truitt. Bonatic. Ferreira. City, of course, missing Matthew Leckie this evening. He's one such player that can, on many occasions, unlock the door. Good interchange between Kuhn and Romani. Down goes Kuhn inside the box. Again, referee not particularly interested in penalty claims, and Buriram looking to spring forward. Chausic. Good. Stojkovic. Nicely threaded ball into midfield, but Robert Zuul and Guillaume Bassoli not on the same wavelength. There's that challenge, clean as it was in the end by Peter Zuul. On his compatriot, Andreas Kuhn. Strong run by Bajic. Romani. Truin. That's a handy ball over the top, and Romani just stretching for it.
Substitution for Buriram United, coming off number 19, Kingsley Schneidler. To be replaced by number 20, Shane Patinama.
Change for Buriram. Kingsley Schneider wanders off his personal battle with, as his Bajic is over, and the Indonesian international Shane Patinama is his replacement. Patinama is actually sent off for his country in World Cup qualifiers against Iraq in stoppage time last week. One of two Indonesian internationals that Buriram have on their books, along with Sandy Walsh, who's also on the bench tonight. This is Peter Zuul. Strong run, still going. Peter Zuul. And straight at Beach in the end, but it was an exhilarating run. And a rare shot on target. Routine save in the end for Patrick Beach. Now here's Atkinson at the other end. It's not a good ball. Tidied up by Patinama. Kingsley Schindler has finally completed the long walk around the pitch. Here's that run, driving through the midfield area by Peter Zuul. Just couldn't find the finish. Past the midway point of the second half in Melbourne. Chances still at a premium, particularly for the home side. Bonatic. Kuhn. Not really the right option, back with Truin. Wide it goes for Bajic. Cross towards Mazea at the back post, too deep. And we're going to see the introduction of one of Melbourne City's new signings during the off-season, Elbasan Rashani, in place of Kavian Romani. He's toiled hard down that flank without much success, it must be said. So let's have our first look at Elbasan Rashani, 29 times capped for Kosovo. Although he was born in Sweden and actually represented Norway as a youth international. Spent last year in Spain with Elche. Atkinson. Forced to backtrack by Mazeo's pass. Ferreira. Mazeo well marshalled again by Patinama. Oh dear. That was way too strong from Atkinson. Nothing Ferreira could do, and it's going to be a Buriram corner. Well, Buriram did score once from a set piece. Unfortunately for them, ruled out for offside. Kenny Dougal has made his way forward. Curtis Good is in there as well. There's the usual fun and games when it comes to corner kicks. Looks like they're queuing for a boss. She's had a good game. Shuni Yamashita. And she's not going to stand for any nonsense in that little huddle at the back there. All in readiness for Zul's corner. Goes towards the back post over the head of Curtis Good. Super try with the back header. Good save by Beach. Forced over the line. And it's Goran Čausić who was denied by that offside flag in the first half. Not this time, I fancy. Melbourne City could not clear their lines from the corner. And when it broke loose, Goran Čausić forced the ball home, and Buriram hit the front with less than 20 to go. Well, Superchai did well to keep it going. The first effort was parried by Beach of Peter Zul, but there was Goran Čausić to pick up the pieces and fire Buriram into the lead. VAR is checking the goal, of course. And Goran Čausić really would feel unlucky if he was to be denied not once but twice. And Mark Jackson punches the air. Is he going to be a winner on his return to Australia in his first game in charge of Buriram? That goal does count. And would you believe it's the same player who got the winner in the last meeting in Melbourne between these two back in November 2023. On that occasion, Čausić scored the only goal from the penalty spot. This time from open play, and Aurelio Vidmar and his team have it all to do again. Here's Bissoli looking to make the point safe. It is Robert Zul into the box. One back by Superchai, and then straight at Patrick Beach. And the problem for Melbourne City is They create so few chances in this competition, or certainly this season anyway. It is hard to envisage creating too much at the other end. Just over a quarter of an hour to play in Melbourne. Well, the shot count seems relatively even, but it's the fact really that they've only had one of those shots on target, Melbourne City, and that was as long ago as the 4th minute. That's the big issue for Aurelio Vidmar. Here's the goal scorer, Chausic. Melbourne City have huffed and puffed. Neil Etheridge has not had an awful lot of work to do between the posts for Buriram. Atkinson. Ferreira. All a bit static up ahead. Truin. Atkinson gets away from Kuhn. Superchai too slow. Bajic lets it run. Rashani's cross is blocked. And Chausic will clip it forward. Basuli never looked too keen to try and take on Germán Ferreira. City back on the ball, have had plenty of possession. Max Caputo all too often isolated at the point of the attack. And looking back on the goal, it was that needless corner given away by Nathaniel Atkinson, which led ultimately to Goran Chausic forcing the ball home for the second time tonight. The second one not overruled by VAR. Sent wide by Good, well anticipated by Atkinson. Here's Caputo trying to roll Kenny Dougal. There's help here from Mazzeo. Harmless header in the end, off the noggin of Rashani. A move that promised a fair bit more than that for Melbourne City. Sandy Walsh being readied. He's got his own personal fan club in that Buriram section of the ground. He's going to be with us next break in play. A little bump by Bonatic has left Robert Joule holding his head.
Double substitution for Melbourne City.
More changes for Melbourne City.
In replace by number 19, Zach Schreiber.
Evan Durakovic. And Zane Schreiber. Two introductions for Melbourne City at the expense of Andreas Kuhn and Takeshi Kanamori. Zane Schreiber, a midfielder who arrived from Sydney FC. Evan Durakovic, the son of former Australian playing great Mehmet Durakovic. It's going to be a double change as well for Buriram. Sandy Walsh and Ilham Fandi are the two introductions. Supachai and Filip Stojkovic are the two to make way. Sandy Walsh, born in Brussels. That's not Walsh, that's Fandi, who's the Singaporean international, but Sandy Walsh, born in Brussels to an Irish father, born in England, and an Indonesian mother, born in Switzerland. But Walsh was raised in the Netherlands and represents Indonesia. That's the cosmopolitan nature of modern football. Well, time starting to run a bit short for Melbourne City. Atkinson, anxious to atone for his part in the concession of the goal. Atkinson down the line, Caputo being well marshalled by Good. They know each other well, of course. Bonatic, Schreiber, Bajic, Shani will get the throw off Panzer Hemviboon. Atkinson. Mazea. Everything is in front of Buriram. City just haven't really had the guile to be able to play through the defensive lines. Caputo does well to hold that one up, but it's awry of his teammate. Truin. The space here for Schreiber. Bajic needs a good delivery. Finds one, and it's 1-1. And it's Rashani who fires it into the roof of the net. And Melbourne City, who barely threatened all evening, have somehow conjured up an equaliser. Their first goal in this year's AFC Champions League Elite. And it goes to their new signing, Elbasan Rashani. Good delivery by Aziz Bajic. And Rashani, with his first goal for his new club, nothing Neil Etheridge could do. Only their second shot on target all evening. But it's one that is oh so crucial for Aurelio Vidmar and his team. And finally, they are off the mark. In terms of goals, if not yet, points. He gets away from Sandy Walsh. Just at the point where Mark Jackson must have been thinking it was going to be the happiest of returns to Australia. Still might be, of course. It's been a strange sort of an evening in Melbourne. Not an awful lot of chances for either side. Well, maybe in that regard, the fact that the scores are level feels about right. Ilhan Fandi drawing the contact and the foul. Patrick Beach just wants that near post guarded, just in case. Robert Joule, who had a part to play in the goal, his shot beaten away initially by Beach before being pouched by Chausic. He's going to take this latest set piece. Buriram looking to take the lead for a second time. It's off a Melbourne City head, Liam Bonatig. Corner work short, City a little asleep. Zul's cross. And Mazzeo looking to head further forward. Durakovic back to his captain. Another throw for Melbourne City, but they're going to have to wait to take it. Kenny Dougal. Readjustment of the mouth guard. Which somewhat slows the home side's momentum. To the chin, off the arm of Caputo. Hooked away for another throw by Sandy Walsh. Melbourne City sensing would be perhaps an unlikely winner. Here's Rashani. Goes to ground, but there's no foul by Chausic. Meantime, Basoli is taken to the turf as well. And his pleas too fall on deaf ears. Mazzeo. Truin. Schreiber. Oh, he had a clear look at that. Didn't make the most of it. Unmarked, Zane Schreiber. And a finish indicative of a player who is yet to score his first senior goal. Caputo using his strength to hold off the opponent. Rashani. Good clearance that under pressure by Curtis Good. Still there though for City. Schreiber. Zane Schreiber straight at Etheridge. City making a late play for all 3 points. Buriram keen to take at least a point from their trip south. They've got a home match in the Thai League against Rayong at the weekend to come. Here's Ben Mazzeo, but the whistle's gone. Offside flag against Ben Mazzeo. And the 90 minutes are up as of now. And we've got, well, 8 minutes of added time. And a couple of stoppages in the second half. Rashani. Plenty of opportunity still left for either side to make a play for the maximum points haul. City's next opponents in this competition are the J-League outfit, Machida Zelbia. That game in Japan. Buriram at home to Shanghai Port. That's going to be a foul, a free kick, and tempers just flaring between Chausic and Truitt. And Chausic becomes the 4th Buriram player to go into referee Yamashita's notebook. Had a few choice words to say, muttering under his breath as well. Oren Chausic. Here's Basoli. Cross needed dealing with, and Truitt did just that. Here's Durakovic. Atkinson. Intervention by Shane Patinama. Off the chest of Ferreira. It's been a much better last 10 minutes for Melbourne City. Bajic stopped in his tracks by Walsh. One back immediately, though, by Schreiber. Rashani hooked up, but not necessarily away by Panzer Hembiboon. Back in by Truitt. Mazzeo challenging. They both appeal. And it is going to be a Melbourne City corner. Curtis Good says that's the wrong decision. Late pressure from the home side. Neil Etheridge urging his teammates to switch on for these last 5 minutes. Already a bit more crouched in anticipation. A signal goes up from captain Aziz Bajic. A whole cluster of players in the 6-yard box. In towards the near post. Difficult one to deal with for the defenders. Walsh gets the ball half clear. Bajic finds an angle. Still not away. Rashani goes for it. And then Mazzeo wouldn't sit for him. Still not clear for Buriram. Back in by Truitt. And onto the roof of the goal. Off the head of Max Caputo in the end. Buriram really struggling to clear their lines. It's been a good finish by the home team, inspired by their first goal in this year's competition. Courtesy of Elbasan Rashani. Forward by Curtis Good for Buriram. Bisoli. Fandy off balance, couldn't control it. Bit of room here for Rashani. Atkinson pushing forward. Bonatic. Bajic. Schreiber in position. I didn't really look where Rashani was positioned. Mazzeo, driven back by Patinama. Ferreira likewise by Bisoli. Caputo. Mazzeo manages to keep the attack alive. Atkinson, it's a really good ball, it's crept in for what is surely the winner by Max Caputo in the 97th minute. Melbourne City had two players unmarked. The only question as to whether there might be an offside, but Caputo looked sure enough that he was on. And Buriram, who led by a goal to nil with just 8 minutes of the regulation 90 to play, now trail, and there's certainly no question of offside against Max Caputo. And Melbourne City look set now to end Australia's 2-year wait for a win in this competition. And a bit of redemption for Nathaniel Atkinson. He claims the assist after giving away the corner which led to the opening goal for Buriram. Joy unbridled for Aurelio Vidmar and his backroom team. They have come from behind the A-League champions. And completed a quite remarkable turnaround late on. Caputo, could they make it even better? Here's Ben Mazzeo. It'll be a goal kick, but there's not much time left for Buriram to get back down the other end. And Mark Jackson's return to Australia, which for so long looked to end in success, now looks certain to end instead in defeat. Unless there's a very late twist here. Well, Rashani just trying to delay the restart. There's going to be a very late change here for Buriram. Tiraton Bunbatan wants to come on, but there's no time. It's all over. Finally a win for Melbourne City. Or is it? Oh, we thought the full-time whistle had blown. And the referee is keeping us in suspense. No, it's a change instead. The Melbourne City fans are already celebrating. Tiraton's barely going to have time to get a sweat on. Goal scorer Goran Chasic takes his leave. He thought he'd scored the winner. And we are into the 100th minute in Melbourne. That second ball was the problem. So on we go, but for how much longer? Can Buriram fashion one more opportunity? Patinama. They need to get the ball in the box pretty soon. Tiraton out towards Walsh. They need to get the ball in the box. Tiraton. Still we play on. Charged down by Mazzeo, just thumps it anywhere will do. Etheridge almost on the halfway line, but it's all over this time. And Melbourne City have done it. 2 late goals. The equaliser from Ricevere, and then Max Caputo with the winner. Means it's a miserable return to Melbourne for Curtis Good. And to Australia for Mark Jackson. Finally a win for Melbourne City and for Australia in the Champions League, as a 2-year wait draws to a close. And as in October 2023, it's get the win.